Day 2 of shitty videos. Alright, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the video series that I did on the OpTic Nation channel last week called Worlds, like a journey with OpTic, a little bit of a documentary type thing, and it was the first time I've ever done like a big project like that. If you guys haven't seen it, go check those videos out. They're about like 12 to 13 minutes in between there each, and there's 3 of them. So first of all, before we talk about the actual videos, leading up to this, it was something that I just kind of like talked to Hector about on the fly. I was like, OpTic's had a killer year. It would be super cool if we could do like some sort of documentary thing where we take it from beginning to end and talk about the entire AW season. It would be a great way to wrap up the year for Advanced Warfare. He was like, dope, I love it, let's do it. And we wanted to make it a little bit kind of like the 72 hours with OpTic Gaming, the Anaheim video that everybody talks about. We wanted to make it a little bit like that, but go into even more detail with interviews and gameplay and stuff like that. The one thing about the whole video in general is that it's the first time I've ever done anything like this. The biggest project I've had prior to this was probably a video I did for UMG Niagara like 2 years ago. It's just, and even those were just basically like event montages with a few clips of gameplay. I've never done any kind of like legitimate interview process or anything like that. So you can even see like throughout the course of the whole documentary that I find like things that weren't really working out, and then I try to fix them by the end, because you learn from mistakes, I guess. So I get to the OpTic house, I shoot all the clips that I need to at the house. I got crazy footage of like the loot crate and the Red Bull cans and everything like that, and all the posters and paintings they have on the wall, and just a bunch of good shots. I don't know where they went. They must have disappeared. I remember putting them on my external hard drive, and then I remember checking them when I was going to edit, and I have no idea where they went. The only things that I had from the house are the actual interviews that I recorded, because I put those in like a separate folder, and then the stuff that I had from my own personal vlog. So all of the B-roll that basically you see from the very first episode, that was all just like mistake footage. That was all footage that I had left over. I was so upset. You guys have no idea from the first episode, because there's just so much that I missed out on. But luckily, if you don't understand that, then you would have no idea that I missed out on so much. Another thing is I recorded the interviews for Imbos and Seth, and it was weird. Like I thought I was doing a good job. I was using a lens I've never used before. I was using 2 different cameras, making sure that I got 2 different angles, which worked out pretty well. But it was just the angles that I sat it at, and then the lighting and the white balance of the camera. It all, it was good. Like it served its purpose, but I definitely fixed it towards the end. Like if you take a look at the Bo's interview and Scump's interview, and just look at how I angled everything, and then you take a look at Formal's interview at the very end, I definitely understood what looked better by the end. I've never taken any documentary classes or any film classes or anything to learn how to do this legitimate, like how filmmakers would do it. Hopefully I will continue to learn and improve on my content. Another thing that I understand I can definitely improve on is in the second episode, it was a ton of gameplay. Like legitimately, it was kind of like a montage rather than a documentary. And there was a few clips here and there of like the players and Karma being hilarious at the table and stuff like that. It's really hard to grab the players for interviews while the tournament is going on, especially that part of the documentary, or that series. The second one in particular was ranging from Friday morning until Saturday night, and all that's going on between those 2 time frames is just gameplay. That's all anyone's doing, is just playing. So it's hard to grab the guys and trying to keep track of OpTic Gaming and OpTic Nation while they're both playing, and then grabbing guys for interviews is really hard. If I do anything like this in any sort of sport or esport or anything like that, I have to make sure like it is necessary for me to grab people for interviews so they can talk a little bit about how their day is going and things like that, so that I can So maybe I can use gameplay as a little bit more of like a B-roll type of thing, like a secondary style of clips, rather than using that as the primary focus of the entire episode. Another very obvious thing is that I'm going to get a lapel mic and a proper microphone for my DSLR. The one that I was using, because I have a microphone, like a Rode mic to go on top of the camera, it just stopped working. Like it completely broke, and there was absolutely no audio coming out. So obviously I couldn't use that. And then I also had another Rode mic that Hector was going to let me borrow, and then Maniac broke it the day before we left. So I just had to stick with basically the on-camera microphone, which one of them is really good. I was using 2 cameras that weekend. One of them was actually really good. And then I was also using my sound recorder. So a bunch of the videos that you see where I'm sitting there like interviewing someone as we're both standing up, I am using a recorder, and I'm basically interviewing with one hand and holding the recorder out so it picks up their voice. So a little bit of a weird way of doing things, but so yeah, I'm basically making this video just to get all of my own criticisms out there, and the critiques that I've gotten from you guys, like in the comments and people tweeting me and stuff like that. For things that I like, I definitely liked the idea of interviews, and I like the idea that we got to get into the mindset of OpTic Gaming and OpTic Nation. A lot of people overlooked OpTic Nation, but you know, it's cool to tap into those personalities as well. I liked the 3rd episode a lot because it was a perfect blend, in my opinion, of like interviews and talking with the players, behind the scenes stuff, and then also gameplay. Because I feel like the first one was primarily focused on just like content, like it was very content driven. It was very like you got to hear Seth's speech outside, and the players talk to each other behind the scenes. The 2nd episode was very, like I said before, montagey, very gameplay driven, and then the 3rd was like sort of like a balance between the two. So I really like that. I like that you get to tap into Karma's mind during the 1v2 clutch where he quickscoped that dude. I liked all of Formal's interview because he's really well spoken, and the shots and the lighting, it was all pretty good. And then I also like the way the entire series ended, where I asked him, you know, what is next for OpTic Gaming, and he was like Black Ops 3. So that was pretty cool. One more thing before I go, the clip of Karma's interview where he's sitting on the couch and the angle is like up, that was supposed to be the secondary angle. The primary one was going to be just like Formal's. It was going to be, you know, he was on the couch, a little bit of a wider angle and stuff like that, and then that was going to be like the second shot. But I have no, like I said, I don't know what's going on, but I have no idea where that footage went. So I had to use the secondary angle as the primary one. You know, not that big of a deal, because it still worked out, and you still got, like, the story was still being told. So I wasn't that bummed out about it. It was just another thing that I put in my head to make sure to fix for next time. So I learned a lot over the course of making these 3 videos. The editing was crazy. It took me like 6 to 8 hours to edit each one of them. So that was insane. The second one, literally, I went to the library at like noon, and I stopped editing at like 10:30. And I was basically editing and that entire time, and also like shooting and everything. I learned a lot, and you guys, you know, the feedback was absolutely incredible. It was amazing. So many people were just, you know, telling me, like, giving me props and telling me I did a good job and stuff like that. But it only gets better from here. I'm learning, I'm continuing to learn and continuing to grind. So thank you guys so much. Down in the comments, just let me know like one thing that you enjoyed about it, and then if you do have a critique or any sort of criticism about the entire series in general, just let me know down below. I would love to hear you guys' feedback, as long as you're not like, yo, you were ugly and I hated the whole thing. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching this video. Regular uploads, honestly, I think they're coming in like 2 days. 2 days or 3 days. It'll all make sense. I promise you, this is not for nothing. You know, the regular day in the life videos are coming soon. So thank you guys for watching this. My name is Hitch, and we will see you next time. Peace.